All right, today we're talking about angles of polygons. So you should have that polygon sheet. It's an Explore sheet that we had in class. If you don't, make sure you log into BlendSpace and print it out for yourself. Or if you can't do that, just copy down what I have here. So let's explore polygons. We've got a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides, 3 angles. And what I mean by the number of triangles is it's only forming one triangle, okay? And you're going to see what that means in just a second. We also talked about how a triangle's sum of all of its measures is 180 degrees. So if we were to look at each individual angle in a regular triangle that's equilateral, so it has both the same side lengths and the same angles, each angle would be 60 degrees. The way that we can figure that out is by dividing the total measure by 3. Why 3? Because that's how many angles we have. In a quadrilateral, it's got 4 sides with 4 angles. So now here's the number of triangles. Technically, this angle could be split between 2 triangles. Okay, so 2 triangles form at a diagonal. This triangle and this triangle. So if we have 2 triangles, and we know a triangle equals 180, then we can think about adding them together like so. 180 and 180 make 360. So if we cut them into fourths, because we have 4 angles, we can figure out the measure of a regular, which would be 90 degrees. This would be like your square. So think about a pentagon. If this is forming a pattern, the pentagon would have 5. And the number of triangles, as you look here, it's taking away 2. So if we took away 2, it would have 3 triangles. Let's make sure. If we start here and we go at a diagonal, this one forms a triangle at 180. This one also forms a triangle here, 180. And this one is also a triangle here, 180. So 180 times 3. So we get 540, and because it has 5 angles, we divide that by 5, and we get 108. Okay, so I want you to try and complete this chart right here. Okay, we already have some of them that we can fill in. So try to continue the patterns and see what you think. When you get down here, this one is going to be our n-gon. And it's going to allow us to come up with some sort of an algorithm. An algorithm is something that's always going to work for any polygon. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and try this. This should take you some time, so please make sure you paused. Okay, so I'm going to go through and show you what I did. So if we look, all their numbers of sides and angles should be the same. If we look at their triangles, everywhere here we're taking away 2. So we get 4, 7 minus 2 is 5, 8 minus 2 is 6, 9 minus 2, continues on and on. So how would we come up with the number of triangles with n? It would be n minus 2. So then from there, we know every triangle equals 180. So if we have 1 triangle, we're multiplying by 180. 2 triangles are multiplying by 180. This pattern is continuing. So I multiplied each one of these by 180 to get my measure, or the sum of my angles measure. So what would you have to do with this one? Well, again, you would have to multiply it by 180. So put your n minus 2 in parentheses and multiply by 180. Over here, we divide by the number of angles. So in this case, it was 3. In this case, it was 4, and in this case, it was 5. So with these ones, okay, so when I divide and I continue my pattern, these are the numbers that I get. So what do we have to do to our n-gon? Well, we know that we have n amount of sides, so we're going to divide by n. So this right here is the algorithm that is always used to find the measure of any regular polygon's angles. This one is to find their sum. Okay, so now that we know those, make sure you have them written in your notebook because these will be on your tests and formatives. So what can we do with them? Well, now that we have our chart, we can figure out how to solve for x with problems like this. For example, we know that this is a four-sided figure, which means he is considered a quadrilateral. He's got 360 degrees. So we can set all of his side lengths equal to 360 degrees. Let's make our life easy and put 60, and then we have 3 x's, so plus 3x. Take 60 away from both sides, and we're left with 300 equaling 3x. So I don't want 3 x's, I just want 1. Divide by 3, and we get x equaling 100 degrees. Okay, so if we look at this next one, this figure equals 540 degrees because it's considered a pentagon, 5-sided figure. So we're going to add up all of its side lengths. Now we need to combine the like terms. So when you combine your like terms, you get 243 plus 9x. So take the 243 away from each side, and we get 9x equals 297. Divide by 9, and your x equals 33. Okay, go ahead and try these, and I'll be back in just a second to show you what I did. Okay, so for the first one, so I took and I combined my like terms, and I get 271 on this side plus x equaling 360. Take the 271 away, and you get x equaling 89. Over here, the pentagon should equal 540 degrees, so add these up, and we get 2x on this side plus 308 equaling 540. Take away the 308, and you get 2x equaling 232. Go ahead and divide by 2, and x gives you, so you get 116 as your answer. Okay, let's try a couple more. Go ahead and try this one and solve for x. This guy is also an irregular pentagon, so go ahead and try it, and I'll be back in just a second to show you what I did. So we know that the pentagon is 540, so make sure that you have that, and then write all of your other sides, angles. Okay, then combine your like terms. We've got 5x and 9x, so that's 14x, and that equals your 540, and then you've got 139 plus 71 plus 92. Okay, so take the 302 away from both sides, and we're left with the 14x on this side equaling our 238. Divide by 14, and we are left with x equaling 17. All right, last one. If you want to, you can just watch me do this one, or if you're feeling pretty good about this, you can try it yourself. Okay, so the first step, figure out how many side lengths you have. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So go back to your chart, and we know that this is a heptagon, or 900 degrees. So we're going to set everything equal to 900 degrees. This one is crazy to write out, so I'm just going to double everything that I see that has a pair, and then this 9x minus 14 is left over. So this is 10x plus 20x plus 18x plus 2 plus 9x minus 14. Okay, so now we can combine our like terms. We've got 10, 30, 48, and then we have 57x, and then 2 and a negative 14. When we add them together, positive 2 and negative 14 make negative 12. And that equals your 900. So add 12 to both sides, and I'm going to move this over here, and we get 912 equaling 57x. So now we have to divide. When we divide by 57, we get 16. So x equals 16. And that's all we've got for you today. See you next time.